morning, so we are back. We're going to start with a gentle Pilates flow. So, hi Claire. Hi Jim. So we've got cramp today, we'll see how it goes. So first of all, you can start on your mat. We're just going to do some gentle neck circles. So rolling your chin down towards your chest. Gently drawing a nice big circle around. So today is more about gently opening up the joints. Starting to move again. It's been a while since I've been on here. And then just going back to reverse, go back the other way. Nice big circles, and notice any breath that's particularly tight. Stop making gently move away from that point. Never pushing through pain on any of these, so if any of the stretches you feel like it's causing you any pain, go to the point where you feel a bit of discomfort stretches, but no pain. And then just returning your head back to neutral, you're just going to nod the chin. This time we're going to do roll downs to the floor, so as far as you can go. So again, work within your range. Nod the chin down. Gently slide your hands down your legs. Curling your back, looking between your legs as far as you can go. Hold for a second. And then gently roll back, starting at the base of your spine. So just lifting, gently uncurling yourself, making sure you keep your chin tucked into the laugh. Roll all the way up and look up to the ceiling. Stretch your neck backwards. And then again, so we do that 2 more times. Nod your chin down towards your chest. Roll down. All the way, as far as you can go. Feel the stretch in your hamstrings in your back. And then gently uncurl, so keep the chin tucked in. Start at the base of your spine, rolling up. Slowly rolling up the spine. All the way up, lifting up to the ceiling. And then again, lift the chin, tuck your head in, roll down your shoulders, mid-spine, roll back, reaching all the way as far as you can go. And then slowly rolling all the way down. So this time we're going to roll down, but we're going to walk out into a plank position. So drop the chin down, roll all the way down the spine. Walk the hands, when you get to it, if you need to bend your knees, that's fine. Walking your hands out to the top of the mat, and then you're just going to gently drop your knees down. Get your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and move into some gentle cat cow. So for this, you're going to think of a pole in the middle of your stomach, arch your back up away from it, tuck your chin again towards your chest, look between your knees, and then gently untuck, so you're dropping belly down. This time imagine that pole pulling your belly down towards the floor, towards your mat, and then up towards the ceiling. And then again, arch all the way up into your cat position. So if you want to arch the back as much as you can, spread the shoulder blades, look between your knees, and then gently roll down, looking up towards the ceiling. If you feel there's a particular point in your back that you feel particularly stuck on these, it's a really good idea to look at my clients is using a TheraBand, or a Pilates band, a physio band, whatever you like to call them, but putting it underneath your hand, putting it across over your back and into the other hand, so you just put it on the point of your back if you're particularly stuck or sticky. And then you can really work on mobilising that part of your spine, so it just helps focusing on the area that you're stuck or tight. For now, just gently move between cat cow. And if it feels comfortable to do so, just shifting gently side to side. In your cat cows, stretching into left and right. Arching up. Out of the way. Good. And then now you're going to take, so from this position, just take your left leg out to the side. Foot's nice and flat on the ground, you're just going to gently push your hips back. So you're stretching your adductor in the thigh. So from the side, gently rocking back, coming forward. Nice gentle rocks, backwards and forwards. So sitting as far back as you can again, so the foot of my right foot is tapped. If it feels more comfortable, that's too much pressure on the foot, untap the foot and sit back from there. Nice gentle rocks and control the breathing in and out through your nose. One more here. And then you're going to come forward into your start position, lift your left hand up, reach towards the ceiling, looking at your top fingertips. Reach open as wide as you can, and then you're going to tuck that arm underneath and through, thread the needle, and then reaching back up. So when you reach underneath between your hand and your knee, you're going to try and get your shoulder as far down to the ground as you can. You can let your right arm bend slightly to do this. Just reaching and stretching, so feeling the twist in your mid to upper back. And stretching more into the hip here as well. So keep following your moving hand with your eyes. One more. And then hands back, sweep that foot back behind, tap. Right, so these are the hip swings. So you're just going to gently, you can allow the hips to swing here, but you don't want to shift the weight between your hands too much. So you're just gently tapping, side and round. So lifting, not too high, so arching into the back. We're trying to control it with this left hip. And stabilising with your right hip, so you might start to feel a little bit of work in your right glute. Try not to let left and right hands shift the weight too much. Control it more with your lower body. One more. Good. Then from here, just bring the knees back together. Just going to sit back into a child's pose stretch. So sit back on your heels, reach your hands all the way forward. Nice deep breaths. And then we're going to do the same from the other side. Face forward this time. Right foot goes out, just gently rocking back. So sitting back nice and straight, keeping your knee and hip in line. Gentle rocks. Watch also here that we're not overarching the back to sit back. We're using the hinge from our hip rather than curling the back. Nice deep breaths. Foot stays nice and flat, so you can really feel the stretch from that inner thigh. It doesn't matter about how far you go back, but it's a really good one, especially for riders. Open up the hip joint. Just do one more here. And this time you're going to lift your right hand up, so reach your hand up. Stretch, lift your top fingertips, and then tap down underneath. Nice controlled breathing, trying to reach as far as you can through. One more here. Then return the hand back down onto the hip swing, so lifting right foot up. Gently tapping across, back behind. So we're trying not to let the hands do too much work, so I'm not shifting over here. Keeping level between my two hands and just letting the lower body do the work. So your hips are allowed to swing without to feel movement, and you should feel the core activation here too. So really still feel the sides of your core start to work. And again, it doesn't matter about how much range you get, but within your range of build up. Gives you a little bit more space in the hip once it's available. One more. Good. And then just going to sit back into child's pose. And then coming forward, this time you want your hands underneath your shoulders, again, knees into hips, and you're going to lift opposite. So you're going to get opposite, so left hand, right knee, lift them up. Bring them together to tap in the middle and then reach out nice and long. Bring the same one in and reach out nice and long. So this is getting those cross links in your anatomy. You know much about the cross links in between your left shoulder, right hip, right shoulder, left hip. So cross body, getting them working together and really working your core this one and challenging the stability. So you want to keep your back nice and still. We don't want to see arching up and down and swinging through it. You want to think nice long lines. So think someone pulling away from your hand and your foot. Gently stretching away. So just the arm and the leg are moving, not the middle, not your core. One more this side. And then gently swap onto the other. If this really hurts your wrist, this position, you feel it's uncomfortable, come up onto your knuckles and doing the same thing. Chin. And just make sure you keep that arm nice and strong, nice and straight. So control the movement, it's nice, slow control on this one. One more. Good. And then return back to your start position. Down into child's pose once more. So reach the hands all the way forward, sit back with the heels. Tuck your head, nice deep breaths. And then gently coming up, back into 4-point kneeling. Tuck your toes underneath. This time we're going to press back and up into down dog. So just pedaling the feet one by one. Try and get your heels down towards the ground. Keeping your hips nice and square. And from here we're going to move into pigeon stretch. So you're going to bring your right knee, so you can either stop, drop your knees down here, or bring your left knee up. And then you're just going to bring your left knee between your hands and slide that right leg back. Nice and straight, and you're just going to gently come down onto your elbows if this feels comfortable to do. And just gently rocking side to side. If this stretch feels too much, slide your right knee up behind you to take some of the pressure off. It's a really good one for opening up, stretching into your glute. So a really good one for tight hips. And just gently rocking here side to side. And feel at any point it feels particularly tight. If there is, just holding in that range, just try and gently slowly breathing, trying to get the muscle to relax. So the next option, you can either stay here if that feels enough of a stretch, or if you're not really getting too much stretch, you feel like you've got a little bit more, reach your hands forward, really try and reach your fingertips away from you, fold your body forward, feel a nice deep stretch into your glute here. Nice slow deep breaths. Try to get the muscle to relax. And that is our aim in stretching, so try and get the muscle to be comfortable in the range that we are pushing it to. If it feels painful to do a stretch, we're not going to get any benefit, it's just going to actually end up tightening where we started. So trying to get the muscle to relax. Nice deep breaths. And then just slide in the hands back up, either side of the knee, turn your fingertips out and just going to gently rock side to side, so stretching into your wrists. Try and create a nice long spine here, so I'm reaching away from the top of my head, allowing a little bit of curve in the lower back. Good, and then you're going to return, knees back together, you can swap sides, so either go up through down dog, open up, right hip, bring your right knee before, or just start from kneeling and drag that right knee forward. And then just slide that left leg back. And then onto your elbows, and again, same thing, just going to gently rock side to side. And notice, does this side feel tighter than the other? Is there any difference between the two sides? Just gently rocking side to side, trying to get that muscle to relax and get nice deep breaths. And then reach the hands forward if this feels comfortable to do so. Drop that head down and just fold forward over your hip. Nice deep breaths. And then just gently slide hands up either side of the knee, turn the fingertips out, and again you're just going to gently rock, allowing that curve in your lower back, stretch your head up and away. then you're going to slide left leg up to meet the knee, and we're going to come into what we call pancake stretch. So this one, if you have a block, if you know that your lower back tends to turn backwards and you can't sit straight without a mat, if you can grab, if you've got a block or anything, grab. If not, do this one with knees slightly bent, just so you want to focus on the back here being nice and straight, so we're not leaning back on this one already. So you're going to take the legs out towards the side. If you don't have the block, and you know your back comes back, just slide the knees up slightly here. If you can sit nice and straight, you're going to sit on your seat bones, you want to feel the seat bones the whole time. Get the legs as wide as you can so you can feel the stretch, but again, without any pain. And you're just going to gently walk your hands forward, thinking of the movement coming from the hips rather than curling the back. So nice straight back. Reach your hands forward as far as you can. Gently hold. Next grab. And then just gently walk the hands back and up. So we're working to a point where you can feel the stretch, but not pain. Reach, hold, and then gently walk back and up. And again, some movement from the hips. If you find this difficult and the back's going to turn all the time, you can reach your hand up instead and just try and reach and fold as far as you can. And then come up and away. As soon as you drop the head, it does encourage the back to round slightly more, so if you know your tendency to do that. But if you can't, getting a mirror to this one is quite a useful one to build your awareness of what's happening. And it's often why our hips are really stuck that we tend to get the back pain, and the back tends to feel like it's stuck. We work on the back loads, but without releasing the hips and getting the hip movement, the back pain will always come back. So just gently walk one more time. And then gently coming up. You're going to stay in this position and just gently slide right hand towards your foot, reach your left hand up and over, stretch. And again, it doesn't matter about how far you go, if your knees are up and bent in this one, touching your hand and just gently stretching, from front, gently stretching up and over. That's fine, that's the range you've got, so it's working up to your range, you're working within your range and then trying to build up, gradually getting a little bit more. If we make the muscles hurt, like I said before, feeling like they're painful when we're doing this one, they're not going to allow that movement, we're actually going to end up making the muscle tighter. So you're just gently going side to side, so reach left hand towards left foot, right hand comes over, hold for a second, and then reach up and over. Nice, slow, controlled movement. Stops. And one more each side. And then returning back to neutral gently, so if you need to just gently lifting up the knees, slide them together. Just roll side to side here. Reach back behind, just gently stretching. Back. This one shouldn't cause you any back pain. If it has, it probably means it ground too much from the back and not enough from the hips. So if you find that one difficult, maybe perhaps using a block next time to raise you slightly higher. But right now, so you're going to come to lying on your back. Take your feet, so if you're on a mat, just take your feet wide so slightly off the mat. And you're just going to gently roll one hip, one knee in, return back to the start, and then drop the other knee in. So you're basically trying to get this outside of this leg and into the hip, stretching that, which becomes really tight when we ride. And slightly externally rotated, so we're working more again on the internal rotation. Yeah, so just dropping one knee and the other. Feeling that stretch. So you don't want your, as you drop my right knee, I do it with my right hip coming off the floor and make that knee fall out. You're trying to think of keeping this knee nice and steady, and just trying to bring it in towards. So again, it doesn't matter how far you get. Work within your range. And then now you're going to do, so bringing both knees in together. So this one's slightly more difficult. Take your feet slightly wider for this one, and then just drop both knees together. And then bring them up. So both knees, hold for a second, and then rock them up. So if you put your hands on your pelvis, you can actually see what's happening here. Feel what's happening, sorry. Just gently rolling the hips. We're trying to get the hip sockets, imagine like they're doing on the that, rolling in, rolling back out, rolling in, rolling back out. So do one more. Good. And then bring feet back to neutral, so feet in line with your hips. You're just going to grab one knee, pull one knee in, stretch the other leg away so it hovers off the ground, and swap. So with this one, again, it's about working within your range. So if you feel like your back, you want to be in neutral here. If you've got particularly weak back or any back problems, work in imprint, which you don't know what I mean by neutral imprint, please do drop your message. But basically, neutral, you have that slight curve in your back naturally. So as you're doing this one, you're going to slightly, your back isn't completely flat on the floor. Imprint, your hips are all tilted in, and your back will be flat on the ground. So we want to work in neutral if possible. Sorry, crow. Your head launch back, and you're just reaching that leg as far away as you can control. So if we reach to there, and you feel like your back's about to tip even further, so we're really lifting up and opening, reach your leg up or keep the knee bent. So we want to keep in neutral. We don't want the back to change, basically. If that makes sense. But that doesn't make sense at all. Please do got the message. So just gently pulling the knee in, stretch the front of the leg and think of reaching away. My hip. So don't worry if the clicks are painful, obviously stop. If it's just a click, it's just a lack of mobility, a lack of movement there. So I put it on my right hip here, slightly less movement. And you're just gently pulling the knee in, reach the other leg away. And then you're going to bring left knee in, and you're going to twist over towards your right side, so dropping that left knee down towards the ground. Reaching the arm to meet the other hand, and then you're going to gently reach up and over, so into a spine twist, so reaching your hand up, over, bring it back. Some nice deep breath. You want to keep that knee on the floor, so reach the hand as far as you can without that knee lifting up. So if it doesn't quite reach the floor, don't worry. You can place a block underneath it to take the strain of your back if it feels like it's pulling your back too much. But you're just trying to gently twist into this section of your spine. Keep watching your hand with your eyes. Good, just do one more this side. Good, and then just gently slide that knee towards you, roll back, and then you're going to swap sides. So let your left leg go long, grab your right knee in, twist over, drop that knee down to the floor if you can, or raising up on a block. Hands, bring your hands together and then gently open, nice and wide, watching that right hand, your top hand, all the time with your eyes. So nice deep breaths. Good, just do two more here. Just returning to bring that knee in, roll back onto your back and just grab both knees in and just gently roll side to side. And we're just going to finish off with some hip rolls. So you're going to plant your feet on the floor, so you want your feet in line with your hips, just so you can touch them, so you can touch your heels with your fingertips. And from there, you're going to think of rolling up your spine. So think of closing the gap between your hips and your ribs. And just gently pick up. So starting at the base of your spine, pick your spine off up the mat, roll up, hold for a second, and then just gently roll down. So on these ones, that's different to a hip lift where you're lifting up and straight back down. This one, I think of mobilising the spine at the same time. So think of slowly operating. So think of poppers on the mat and your back, and just gently poppering on and off the mat with your back. Rolling all the way up. Hold for a second. So really think of squeezing, hold your glutes here between your, so between your, you want to hold this between your core and your glute. So lift it as you lift up, Cores on to stop your ribs flaring, glutes on to lift your hips. As you roll down, hold your glutes until the last moment, and then gently letting go as you drop down. Lifting up, hold, and then gently back down. You have enough, come. And then rolling back down. Good, lifting up. And then gently back down. Hopefully you can see that. Lifting up, gently back down. We're just going to do one more before we move into the stretch. Lift up. And then gently back down. Good. And then for the stretch, you're going to swap back into child's pose. So start hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and just gently sit back, reaching the hands. This one now doing some stretching into your shoulders, stretching into your back and into your hips. If you don't feel this one at all, perhaps this position is quite comfortable for you, bring your hands forward and do more of a puppy pose, so your knees are over your hips, dropping your chest down. Dropping your chest down, looking forward, so stretching more into your back, so it's more into the extension and flexion of the spine. Hold for a second. So this one's really good if you find this pose more of a stretch for you, the cat pose. And when you're doing just one more breath, and then gently bring the hands back underneath your shoulders. Drop your hand, thread the needles, so drop your right shoulder through your hand, underneath your shoulder, sorry. And then you're going to lift your left hand up, reach up towards the ceiling, looking at this top fingertips again. If you need more stretch, that's enough, staying there. Nice deep breath, returning back to your position. This time take the left hand, thread underneath. Hold here for a second. If that's enough of a stretch, stay there. Drop, lift your right hand up, reach up. Then return back to your start position. Tuck your toes underneath. Press back, down dog one more time. This time you're going to take your right foot behind your left. Gently coming up, push towards your foot, and roll back down. Up. Roll back down. Roll back down. Do one more. Good. And then swapping sides. Right foot, left goes behind. Try to keep the hips nice and square on this one is really important too, so we're not going hips going to one side. Really stretch it again, this is between left and right. If there is spend a little bit longer, in the knee stretches on that side, it's a little bit simpler. So as we know, unevenness for us translates to unevenness for our horse. One more. Yeah, and then you're just going to gently walk your feet towards your hands. And then as you get there, keep your head tucked in, just grab your elbows and just gently twist side to side. And then let go of your elbows, keeping that head tucked in, just swing your arms side to side, staying nice and low. And then just gradually getting a little bit higher, so rolling up your spine as we did at the start. And then a little bit higher. Stretching into the spine, feel left and right, swing the arms left and right. Gently then bring the head, stack your head, and just gently do a few neck circles one way. And notice you're going to move to where you started. And then go back. Gently move the head the other way. And then you're done. So I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if I feel good again. But yeah, anything that you particularly want to work on, please do let me know.